Hey, what's up guys, Manu here, and boy do I have a really cool motorcycle to talk about today. This is one of our personal bikes that we purchased pre-owned years ago, and this is one funky urban enduro from Yamaha. This bike is the Yamaha XG250, also known as the Yamaha Tricker. One of the cooler motorcycles that is not normally found where I live, but is an absolutely fun and unique motorcycle to have, especially if you are an urban rider. Before I begin, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more unbiased car and motorcycle reviews. And if you happen to have a Yamaha Tricker 250 or weirded out by this bike, leave a comment below and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Alright, what is the Yamaha XG250 Tricker? Who is it for, and what are my personal opinions on this funky urban enduro? So this bike was introduced by Yamaha back in the mid-2000s and is made as a step-up entry-level motorcycle for the young and active rider. Yamaha also had this great idea of marketing this bike as a highly customizable urban enduro moto with some off-road capabilities. This was also introduced to the market together with its more popular and more off-road capable sibling, which is the new and improved, back then, Yamaha XT250 Sirao. You could say that the Tricker is the Sirao for the streets and is the blank canvas version of that bike, purposely done by Yamaha so the user would customize it to whatever they can think of. So the Tricker is powered by a 250cc air-cooled single that produces a modest but useful 19 horsepower and 18 Nm of torque. Transferring that power to the rear wheel is a 5-speed manual transmission. Suspension for the front is a standard non-adjustable unit with 7 inches of travel. A monoshock at the back with 6 inches of travel. Ground clearance is at a generous 10 inches off the ground. Wheels are 19 up front, while the rear is a weird 16. Disc brakes for the front and rear with no ABS. And the fuel tank is a tiny 6-liter unit, and the bike weighs around 118 kilograms. Take note that the bike that I have here is an early production model, still equipped with a carburetor. Later models have fuel injection, but aside from that, everything is basically the same. So what do I have to say about this bike? Let's start from the ergonomics. First of all, the seat is very low for an enduro style motorcycle. After all, this is based on the Yamaha Sirao, which is probably one of the best beginner-friendly dirt bikes in the market. The seat itself is narrow up front, but is pretty wide all the way to the back. Reach to the bars is easy with lots of wiggle room. Foot peg location is directly below your butt. Now for a guy my size, I find this bike pretty roomy, which I like, but the seat is not as comfortable as it looks, even for short urban rides. The slim profile allows me to move back and forth a lot, and I am still able to squeeze the gas tank with my legs just the way I like it. Standing up on this bike is a different story. It feels very natural and allows for more body movement. The low seat gives your legs plenty of room for you to adjust your body position as well. Now this bike is probably the lightest 250cc motorcycle I have ever ridden. Combining this lack of weight, the roomy ergonomics, and relatively short wheelbase makes this bike very flickable and easy to manage, especially in the traffic that we have here. The non-adjustable suspension is very plush and soft though, and it eats up road imperfections easily. Now there is a downside to this lack of weight though, and it is very evident at higher speeds. It feels very floaty and unstable at speeds above 80 kilometers per hour, and cornering into a turn makes me feel a bit anxious. My theory for this, level of anxiousness in cornering has something to do with the ultra soft suspension, and of course the short wheelbase giving it that unstable feeling. Now speaking of speed, the engine is a bit anemic for a 250cc 4-stroke single. It doesn't have the low-end torque or zippy acceleration you would expect it to have. However, it does have a very smooth and predictable power delivery, which I believe newer riders will find very pleasing. It's not a high-speed machine that will win drag races or anything, but it's more than enough to get you through tight situations, especially in urban traffic. Stopping this bike is an exercise of balance and modulation. The front brake is very effective at slowing down this lightweight motorcycle. The rear end is something else though. It feels very strong and instant, but combining that with the forward bias weight makes for some exciting, intentional, or unintentional brake slides. To put the trigger into one specific category is going to be very tricky, but if you're going to ask me, it is a fun, lightweight, and user-friendly urban enduro that feels like a mountain bike on steroids. Sad to say, this model and the Serao has been discontinued by Yamaha in 2021 for reasons unknown. Finding a used Yamaha trigger is going to be a challenge since this bike was not sold in a lot of places. A Serao, however, is easier to find and there might be new old stock units in some dealerships. Anyway, that's it for this video. Hope you liked it and help me out by subscribing to my channel. As always, see you in the next one. Bye.